Last time, we got to see how the events of this story affected the Tournament of Power, as well as the Moro arc, which was mostly avoided. But what happens next? We'll cover all that and more in this finale of What If Vegeta and Trunks Were Trapped. Following the encounter with Moro, Goku decides that he's going to train with Mayris because he could tell something's off about him. He's definitely no regular patrolman. He notices this when he actually tries to fight him on the Galactic Patrol ship. It seems like he might actually know some stuff about Ultra Instinct as well. So, Goku briefly embarks on this new journey. Then we have a pretty big time skip. There's nothing with Granola because there's no Frieza to actually have those events set in motion. It's business as usual for Granola and the Heaters. Superhero would definitely roll around at some point, and I feel like not much about that would change because Goku and Vegeta are going to be away on Beerus' planet or doing whatever training they normally do. Really, the biggest change for this arc is the fact that there's no Broly involved, so it just means he's not on Beerus' planet, which probably won't change much, if at all. I feel like at best, the only thing it would change is the fact that Goku and Vegeta might not be fighting at that exact moment. Although, it's Goku and Vegeta, so there is a good chance they still are anyways. All that's to say that this arc goes pretty much like normal, with the same events in the movie. Well, that was pretty quick, so we're at the end, right? There shouldn't be any other arcs after this. Well, not entirely, because we still are kind of covering the future timeline. That's pretty much what this entire finale is going to be about. But what's left to be done there? Let's go over to that timeline. Trunks is on Beerus' planet, training under Whis. Unlike Vegeta or Goku, for example, he doesn't spend all of his time here, but he has known them for a few years at this point. And while he's not constantly training 24/7, he is here for a specific reason. There's some sort of big announcement that the Grand Priest makes to all the other gods of destruction and the angels, as well as the Supreme Kai for each universe. Zeno plans on doing a tournament. Of course, this makes everyone freak out because they have no clue what even spurred this. Although, Trunks kind of has an idea of what spurred this, and he's not really too freaked out because he's already been in a Tournament of Power. What happened is that, while bored one day, future Zeno looked at the time rings and found out that there were more than usual. Unbeknownst to him, the timelines had split. And due to his immense boredom, he decided to travel timelines. He didn't even care about what caused this, he just wanted to see what was happening. One of the timelines he went to is actually the present timeline, and he had a lot of fun here because he met the other Zeno. More importantly, he heard about the Tournament of Power, and that sounds like it's a lot of fun, so he decides to host his own over here. Plus, it seems kind of necessary given the low mortal level of some of the universes here. Universe 7 particularly has a low mortal level because the strongest person there is Trunks, and there's not really much else besides that. Broly's still on Vampa, Moro is still locked up because Boo never got unsealed and killed, Granola and the Heaters never became ultra powerful, etc, etc. Although a lot of the events in Universe 7 didn't really affect the other universes. Really, the only universe affected here was Universe 10, because of all the Zamasu stuff. Otherwise, all the other universes don't have any major changes because they're just the same universes, but a few years into the future, which puts Universe 7 at a disadvantage. And Beerus does remember, Trunks did temporarily go back in time for some sort of tournament over there. He didn't realize it was something Zeno hosted though. He kind of feels like Trunks should have filled him in on that. But it doesn't matter. Universe 7 won that tournament, so that makes Beerus pretty happy. Although they don't really have many fighters here. Actually, they don't have any. So Trunks is going to have to try and recruit some people, and Beerus makes Trunks the leader of this team. And you know what? Whis actually thinks of something. Since the other timeline was able to recruit Trunks, maybe Zeno would be fine if Trunks recruited that other timeline. Not like they really have a choice anyways. It's kind of a shame because pretty much every other fighter here is dead. An interesting thing to say. Whis thinks maybe he could do something about that. Trunks goes to the past and tries to recruit some of the people there. And he does get a good team going. He recruits Goku, Vegeta, Gohan, Piccolo, and Android 16, all of whom were in the previous tournament and, of course, are willing to help Trunks. Although, Goku's a bit confused as to why he's only recruiting these 5. Doesn't he need a team of 10? Yeah, he does. And he'll come back to recruit others if what Whis has in mind doesn't work. Vegeta knows that his version of Trunks definitely would have wanted to join, but he doesn't even know about the tournament yet. And Goku could probably get Goten. Not necessary though because of what Whis has in mind. Trunks isn't entirely sure if it'll work, but he thinks it will work. Trunks did consider reviving everyone with the Dragon Balls, but they didn't have time here, and he doesn't even know how Namek's Dragon Balls work yet. They might still have the one person at a time limitation. And since everyone's been dead for so long, he doesn't even know if it'll work for that. Not to mention, Goku died of natural causes. Plus, he doesn't even know if everyone wants to be revived. So Whis decided to remove the guesswork, and he went to Otherworld himself. He's been gone for kind of a while now, but right around the time when Trunks arrives back in his timeline, Whis returns with 4 fighters in tow. And Trunks can't believe what he's seeing, nor can any of the others. And the 4 fighters with Whis also look pretty surprised too, because for them it's like looking in a mirror. All with halos above their heads, Whis has brought in future Goku, future Gohan, future Piccolo, and future Vegeta. This is the first time Trunks gets to meet Vegeta from this timeline, as well as Goku and Piccolo. And they learn the long story of everything that happened in this timeline while they were gone. They actually didn't have a lot of the info. And they also learn why there's duplicates of themselves here. Trunks is especially glad to see Gohan again, even though the other Gohan is right there. Gohan, Piccolo, and Goku have spent a bunch of time together in Otherworld. The others learn Vegeta actually got sent to Hell, but for the dead fighters, this isn't the first time they've seen him in that time frame. That kind of surprises present Vegeta. Not the fact that he went to Hell, but the fact that he still has his body. Future Goku explains. The only reason he hasn't been reincarnated is because Goku asked King Yama as a favor to let him keep his body. Vegeta still got sent to hell. He has to spend his eternity there, but at least he got to keep his body, and he constantly trained and grew stronger. Goku, kind of breaking the rules, did visit him from time to time. That's why he asked King Yama to keep Vegeta's body, because he wanted a training partner. Eventually Gohan did join him, which was pretty unfortunate, but it was nice to have Gohan around too. Vegeta says hell was pretty boring. At some point he did get to kill Frieza and King Cold in front of all the other people in hell, which was pretty funny for him. Same for the Ginyu Force. If anything, King Yama should have been happy that he kept Vegeta around. He's doing him a favor by cleaning up hell. There's obviously no shortage of scum there. Anyways, all of these fighters are far stronger than before, and Gohan's really glad to see how much Trunks has grown. And it'll be pretty interesting to see how his past self acts here, wondering how strong he is. But now the team is ready. They have 10 fighters. Trunks, Goku, Vegeta, Gohan, Piccolo, Android 16, Future Goku, Future Vegeta, Future Gohan, and Future Piccolo. Trunks will make a pretty good leader too, especially because he has a lot of info about the other universes. Before it seemed like Universe 7 was disadvantaged because they couldn't get any fighters, but they actually have a huge advantage because they have info. They know who's the most worrisome and what to expect from those fighters. The Dead Warriors don't know much about this stuff, but do appreciate the info. However, there's definitely going to be new people in the tournament. Again, since we are in the future, I feel like that would introduce enough variables to change up those teams too. Not to mention, all these warriors would be stronger by a noticeable amount because they are older versions of themselves. The biggest change is with the Universe 6 because none of them have Super Saiyan. They don't even know what that is. That universe would probably be weaker, with all the other universes basically being the same versions of themselves, albeit a bit stronger. And with Universe 10 having dealt with Zamasu. That's all been rectified though. Of course, a big focus is put on Universe 11 because they already were strong in the past timeline, and they're stronger here due to the passage of time. But Universe 7 isn't too worried. They have a chance to test out all their new powers. For one, Goku and Vegeta have their own Ultra forms now. Vegeta with much more control and Ultra Ego, being the top dog in his universe. Although Goku is pretty close behind him. Recently he's gotten the completed version of Ultra Instinct, and he's aiming to go beyond this current level. What's more interesting is the Future Warriors. Future Goku's the first to transform, going Super Saiyan 4. This is something that's completely foreign to the past fighters. Although Vegeta finds it really interesting, tapping into their Saiyan roots by using the power of Great Ape. It's a very smart thing to access, and Future Vegeta got the same thing too, although Future Goku can use it a little bit better. He has the full powered version of it and even combines Kaioken with it at points. Being dead actually does have some pretty cool perks. That makes Future Piccolo wonder what his past self has done, and Piccolo actually does have a new form. Given the events of Superhero went relatively normally, Piccolo has his orange form, and it's pretty interesting for Future Piccolo to learn that Kami isn't Earth's guardian in the past. He and Piccolo actually did merge. Their new guardian is Dende, who Piccolo actually does remember from Namek. Future Piccolo mostly works with Kaioken and has a pretty high version of that. As for Future Gohan, he has Super Saiyan 4 as well, but he doesn't really spend all of his time in Otherworld fighting. He obviously wants to spend some time enjoying peace there, but given the fact that he doesn't have to sleep, there is a lot more time to train. And he can't really become a traditional scholar up here either. He did spend time trying to become one, although it's very different here. And there's a lot more to research there, both in the living and the otherworld. Anyways, he does have Super Saiyan 4, and he wonders what his past self and Trunks have unlocked. So, Future Trunks shows his newest evolution of power. He actually has Godly Ki, but he didn't really focus on godly forms, because they kind of got infused into his ultimate form. But what he has now is much greater, but he doesn't really have a name for it. He transforms and gets much longer silver hair, and President Gohan can't believe it. That's the same thing he has. Piccolo actually came up with a name for that. That's Beast, with Gohan then transforming, showing off his own Beast form. Trunks does have Godly Ki, so he is stronger, though Gohan has higher latent potential, so maybe his ceiling is going to be higher. It'll be interesting to see how that changes things, but at the current point in time, Trunks is the strongest on the team by far, with a God Ki infused version of Beast. And Android 16 is Android 16. He has continuously been upgraded, but it's not like he has a new form or anything. Still, a valuable addition to the team. This version of Team Universe 7 is actually far stronger than the one that we just saw in the last part. It does have a lot of the same members, but the future members are really strong in their own right too. And even with the changes in the other universes, Universe 7 wins pretty easily. It's a strong team with extra knowledge on all the other people that they're fighting. And with Trunks being the leader, he's actually chosen as MVP, asking for Super Shenron to restore all the other universes, just like what happened in the previous timeline. Whis needs to take them back to Otherworld because it's not like a Bappa situation where they're here for a day. He just brought them back under these circumstances solely because they need them for the tournament. But before they go, Trunks does have a question. He wants to know if they want to return, as well as everyone else in Otherworld because there are other people he needs to bring back. He tells them everything. He only recently found out about New Namek, so he can't actually do this now, but again, he doesn't really know how the Dragon Balls work there, not realizing that they have already been upgraded by this point. It's been so long since they were alive, and I don't know if they'd want to accept this, but maybe they would. At least on Goku's end, he did die from natural causes and didn't really expect to be brought back in the first place. Although once more, Whis can take out all the guesswork because, just like Porunga and the other dragons, he could revive people too. what they didn't know is that Beerus actually wants to give them this as a gift for participating in the tournament. So, Whis already had the idea in mind to revive them. As for everyone else, well, Beerus says Trunks can do what he wants. He'll have to get the Dragon Balls for that, but Whis will at least revive these four. And pretty surprisingly, they accept. Goku, Gohan, Piccolo, and Vegeta are all brought back to life, which is great. They don't have to return to Otherworld, and instead they're going to be going back to Earth. But they have a lot of lost time to make up for, which is another reason Trunks wasn't even sure if they did want to come back, especially with how much has changed on Earth since then. The present fighters need to return back home, but before they do, they only have one chance to do this. They want to fight their alternate selves. Particularly Goku and Vegeta do. Future Piccolo knows he stands no chance, and as for Gohan, he just asks about his past self's life, learning about his accomplishments and his family. Vegeta fights his future self, and so does Goku. But future Goku has one more thing up his sleeve. Present Goku never learned this because he never died for the 7 years. Or, in future Goku's case, pretty much forever. In Otherworld, he picked up a pretty crazy technique. The future versions of Goku and Vegeta are really strong, but not on the level of the godly Saiyans from the present, although maybe this can even the playing field. The two perform a really strange dance and then merge together. This is called Metamorph Fusion. What they just did is merge their power together, becoming Gogeta. One of those times when Goku visited Hell, Vegeta did learn this dance, although he never used it. He thinks it looks ridiculous and he didn't like having to perform it in front of everybody. But that's why he knows it here. He learned it basically after seeing it one time, swearing that he'd never use it though. The new fighter here is Gogeta, using his own Super Saiyan 4 form, and he asked the past version of Goku and Vegeta to use their Ultra forms, fighting with nothing held back. This way they could fight all out. Well, okay, so they go into their Ultra forms and they beat Gogeta pretty easily, but still, they did have a fun time fighting, and that was a pretty unique technique they showed off. And once Gogeta defuses, Goku's really just glad that he got the opportunity to fuse, and he does want to try out Gogeta. But with that, the present warriors can all return home. Trunks thanks them, but they thank him. He saved them in the first place. The future warriors did hear about this before the tournament. When they got caught up to speed and everything, they learned about Vegeta and Trunks being trapped in the time chamber for years. And it does leave future Vegeta wondering. He never had that opportunity to get to know Trunks like that. It's kind of a shame. The past version of himself knows Trunks way better than he does. But with a second chance at life, maybe he could change some things. It's not his fault he never got to know Trunks, but now he has the opportunity to. The present warriors all say goodbye as Trunks takes them back. And with that, we end off here. What'd you guys think about this story? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to see what you guys think. As usual, be sure to drop a like and subscribe if you haven't already. It really does help with the channel, and it shows me you want to see more videos like this. Anyways, thank you all for watching, thanks for supporting the scenario all the way through, and I'll see you all in my next video.